Good evening and welcome to the 2018 Alumni Association Awards and Recognition Banquet. Thank you for being here to recognize and honor our distinguished and outstanding honorees. My name is Brandon Boyd. I'm the director for the Crawford Alumni Center at Tennessee Tech and your host for the evening. Though the Alumni Association was formed in 1921, it wasn't until 1975 that it started presenting these outstanding alumni awards. Since then, this event has become the high point of the year for the Alumni Association. To recognize the accomplishments of our honorees, to celebrate their contributions to their communities and to society, and to sit here and proudly declare these are Golden Eagles is a special occasion. At this time, I'd like to recognize all past Outstanding Alumni Award recipients. If you'll please stand to be recognized, if you've received this award in the past. Thank you for being here tonight and representing your alma mater so well. To begin our celebration this year, we have the Tech Chorale, the campus's premier choral ensemble. On May 13th, the Tech Chorale and its director, Dr. Craig Zamer, will be performing in Carnegie Hall's Stern Auditorium. Tonight, they'll perform pieces they selected just for this occasion. One of those pieces is the Tech Hymn, written by Mrs. Joan Derryberry. The words to the Tech Hymn are on the back of your program. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Tech Chorale.
Steadfast round walls of grass. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua, the battle 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 Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua, the battle 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 Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho.
Talk about your kings of Gideon.
Go on, you can talk about
your
him.
men of Saul.
Go on, yes, you can talk about him.
Good old Joshua at the battle of Jericho.
That morning, Joshua, the battle 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 Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho.
Right up to the walls of Jericho.
Jericho.
We marched with spear in hand.
Blow that horn, Joshua,
And ram horn, Joshua cried.
cause the battle lamb in my hand. God Almighty, then the battle,
Oh
Lord, yes. Oh, the battle, oh Lord, yes. Oh, the battle, oh Lord, yes. Shout, and the walls come a-tumbling down. Oh Lord, you know that Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. He fought the battle, fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. He fought the battle, fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. The walls come tumbling down. Oh Lord, you know that Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. He fought the battle, fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. He fought the battle, fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. The walls come tumbling down.
Tonight we have the opportunity to show our pride for our alumni and honorees, to celebrate their accomplishments since leaving their alma mater. To highlight these accomplishments, I'm pleased to invite Mr. Bob Luna to the podium. Bob Luna is a veteran of the United States Navy's nuclear submarine program. He is the 2014 recipient of the College of Arts and Sciences Outstanding Alumni Award. And Bob and Ringo Starr have one degree of separation, and that is they both have the honor of announcing Vince Gill in concert. Please help me welcome to the podium Bob Luna.
Thank you, Brandon. You know, I had a couple of instructions on what to do tonight, or better, what not to do. Number one was don't ad-lib. Read the script the way it was written for you. Second was don't embarrass the president. Apparently, I got carried away at the Chamber's annual meeting a month or so ago, and I'm going to do my best not to embarrass you. And, read the script the way it was written. So here we go. We're now on script. In 1975, the Tennessee Tech Alumni Association gave its first awards to outstanding alumni. The winners were Kenneth Jernigan, the executive director of the National Federation for the Blind, and National Guard Colonel Edward Norman. Since then, more than 200 men and women have been named outstanding in professional accomplishments or service to our university, their communities, and professions. Awards have gone to doctors and lawyers, singers and writers, journalists, politicians. No, I got to stay on script. No, I'm not going to do it. Civil servants, scientists and engineers, military officers, astronauts, educators, CEOs, and even an entire alumni chapter. Tonight's winners include a professional athlete, a physician, and 3 leaders of industry. All exemplify this university's excellence. They were chosen by the executive board of the Tennessee Tech Alumni Association through a rigorous process of nomination, research, discussion, and final selection. It gives me great pleasure to begin tonight's presentation of the Alumni Award recipients. The Outstanding Young Alumnus Award honors alumni aged 40 or younger who have demonstrated the ideal of excellence by achieving success and recognition, becoming ambassadors for this university, and inspiring pride among the faculty, staff, students, and other alumni of Tennessee Tech. This year's outstanding young alumnus is professional golfer Scott Stallings. Scott was inducted into the Tennessee Tech Sports Hall of Fame last fall. He rewrote the record books at Tennessee Tech during his undergraduate years, 2003 to 2007. No Tech golfer has risen so far, so fast. He was Tech's only two-time Ohio Valley Conference Golfer of the Year, the only Golden Eagle to advance to the NCAA tournament, and the first player in OVC history to qualify for the NCAA championships. Although 10 years have passed since Scott's time with the Purple and Gold, he still owns the program records, including the top 3 lowest scoring averages ever by a Tech golfer. We know Scott today as a successful player on the PGA Tour, and he has seen 3 PGA Tour victories: the Greenbrier Classic in 2011, the True South Classic in 2012, and the Farmers Insurance Open in 2014. Accepting the award tonight on Scott's behalf is Ryan Greer, his business manager and a former member of the Golden Eagle golf team himself. Ryan, will you please come and accept the award for Scott Stallings? I'm going to take my notes back. So I left them down one time a couple of years ago, and the next speaker picked them up, and I had to ad-lib the whole rest of the meeting.
It's quite difficult to follow Mr. Luna there. What a fantastic voice. Good evening. On behalf of Scott and his family, I'd first like to thank the Tennessee Tech Alumni Association for this recognition and fantastic award. Again, my name is Ryan Greer. I'm a friend, former teammate, and financial advisor for Scott. 15 years ago this month, I was a junior on the Tennessee Tech golf team, preparing for the conference championship. One afternoon during practice, Coach Nichols asked if I could take a prospective student athlete and his father on a visit later in the week. He informed me it was Scott Stallings, whom I had known from my junior golf days. Little did I know from that day forward, I would have a front row seat to watch one of, if not the greatest student athletes in Tennessee Tech history play, compete, and win multiple times from the collegiate level to the highest level of professional golf. Most people know what Scott has accomplished on the golf course in 8 years on the PGA Tour, and he's off to another great start this year. Ranked 69th in FedEx Cup points and 135th in the official world golf ranking currently. Equally as impressive, in my opinion, is the work Scott has done and continues to do off the golf course. In 2012, Scott started and funded the Tennessee Junior Cup, which has evolved into the premier event in the state of Tennessee. In 2015, with the help of his apparel company, Under Armour, he started the Scott Stallings American Junior Golf Association event at Oak Ridge Country Club, which annually hosts the top juniors from around the world and benefits local charities in his hometown of Oak Ridge. Last year, he started and fully funded in Knoxville a program called Kids Play Free, which allows kids 18 or younger to play free golf at both par 3 golf courses year-round. He was recently asked to lend his name and support as the celebrity host of the East Tennessee Children's Golf Annual Golf Tournament, one of the largest fundraisers for the hospital, succeeding Peyton Manning as host. He's also a very faithful supporter of Second Harvest Food Bank's backpack program and Birdies for the Brave, a military-based organization to help wounded veterans. Scott is quick to tell anyone who asks about his positive impact about the positive impact Tennessee Tech had on his life, both from an academic and an athletic perspective. Tennessee Tech provided him the opportunity to hone his skills and help him realize the enormous amount of talent he has been given in the game of golf. Ask any former teammate about Scott and they will tell you about his big smile and his big appetite. But his drive and determination to succeed on the PGA Tour is what sets him apart. He knew he had the talent to compete with the best in the world, and it's been an incredible experience to watch him grow and become a winner both on and off the golf course. The Alumni Association of Tennessee Tech is extremely gracious to give Scott this award, and Tennessee Tech alumni all around the world should be very proud and honored to know Scott Stallings is a Golden Eagle for life. Thank you.
You would present that to Scott on behalf of the university.
Very much.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. The Outstanding Service Award honors individuals who have devoted significant time and effort in advocacy for our university as student mentors or recruiters and others who have supported any programs on campus or in the community in an exemplary way. This year's Outstanding Service Award winner is Dick Murphy. Dick Murphy's support of his alma mater spans 3 decades of volunteer time and financial resources in 2 colleges, the iCube, the Child Development Lab, and Tech Athletics. His professional life has been just as diverse, thanks to the wide range of projects undertaken through his company, McIntosh Murphy Masonry Contractors, for work at Vanderbilt, Dell Corporate, to Opryland, and the Wild Horse Saloon and Cafe. Dick and his wife, Mary Jo, helped pave the way for the playground for the Child Development Lab. They volunteer their time each spring at the College of Business Etiquette Dinner. They supplied the entire budget of the College of Business clothes closet, and they provided an entire semester's worth of support for 8 iCube internships. Dick has served on the advisory boards of both the College of Business and the College of Education. Dick graduated with a business degree in 1959, and he says, "I am a small part of Tennessee Tech, but it's been a very large part of me." Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Dick Murphy.
I want to tell you a story that starts in the middle 1960s. It's about a young man by the name of Charles Plum. Charlie graduated from the Naval Academy. After graduation, he went to flight school and learned to fly F-4 Phantom jets. Upon completion of flight school, he was sent to Vietnam and was assigned to the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk. Charlie flew 74 successful missions over North Vietnam. With 5 days left in his deployment, Charlie took off on his 75th mission. Somewhere over enemy territory, his plane was struck by a surface-to-air missile. Upon impact, he was ejected from the cockpit and parachuted to the ground and was immediately captured. He spent the next 5.5 years in a North Vietnamese prison camp. Upon his release, his return to the United States, and discharge from the Navy, Charlie Plum embarked on a successful career as an author and a motivational speaker. Several years went by, and Mr. and Mrs. Charlie Plum were seated in a restaurant one evening having dinner. A stranger came up and tapped him on the shoulder. He said, "Are you Captain Plum?" Charlie looked up and said, "Yes, I am." And the stranger said, "Did you fly off the Kitty Hawk?" "Yes, I did." The stranger leaned forward and said, I packed your parachute. As you can imagine, there was a long, awkward silence. Then the stranger said, "I see it worked." Charlie Plum's life changed that night. He continued his career as a writer and a public speaker, but from that time on, his books and his speeches were framed from the perspective of who packs your parachute. Having the benefit of 8 decades of reflection, there are events, many people, and a place called Tennessee Tech that have packed my parachute. These same decades have allowed me the opportunity and the responsibility to reach out to others and help them pack their parachute. Yes, there's a place called Tennessee Tech, but it is really its people, its administrators, faculty, staff, fellow alumni. Many of these people I call friend. But Tech is mainly its students, and I hope that I have helped some of these students pack their parachute. I am most appreciative, and I am so honored to receive the Outstanding Service Award, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you very much. Thank you.
At this point, we're going to recognize the separate college award winners. Tennessee Tech's colleges, schools, and athletic programs have also selected the finest among them this year, and we're proud to recognize them tonight. Each has been honored by their respective colleges and schools in ceremonies earlier this spring. College award winners present tonight, would you please stand as I read your name? And if the guests would, please hold your applause until I read all of the colleges' names. And then I'll let you applaud at the end. All right. From Golden Eagle Athletics, Randy Smith, Alumnus of the Year. From the Agriculture Foundation and School of Agriculture, Davis Watts, Distinguished Alumnus. From the School of Human Ecology, Kaylee Beasley, Outstanding Young Alumna. From the College of Business, Lee Lefevre Ayer, Alumna of the Year. From the College of Education, B.J. Worthington, Alumnus of the Year. From the College of Fine Arts, Dr. Walter Derryberry, Friend of Fine Arts. From the College of Engineering, Jonathan D. Callies, Outstanding Alumnus, and Janie Smith Kemp, Distinguished Young Alumnus from the College of Engineering. And from the College of Interdisciplinary Students, Anna Smedley, Alumna of the Year. Now, please join me in congratulating each of these outstanding college award winners. The Outstanding Philanthropy Award honors. These honor individuals who contribute resources, finances, and personal time to this university. For visionaries, leaders in this community and region, and workforce partners. The first of this year's Outstanding Philanthropy Award winners is Otis Phillips. The City of Cookeville recognizes Otis Phillips as much for his work with his alma mater as in the community as a businessman, and for his leadership role in the TSSAA, a real game changer for Tennessee Tech and this community. Otis studied mechanical engineering and played football before graduating with a bachelor's degree in 1974 and an MBA in 1978. He's supported those major areas since 1986, establishing endowments in the College of Business, the College of Engineering, and Athletics. He's been instrumental in the growth and development of the Athletics Hall of Fame, the Golden Eagle Scramble, and the Tennessee Tech Football Alumni Golf Tournament. In 2015, he joined the Tennessee Tech Foundation Board of Directors, and that service along with his long-standing history of generosity with annual gifts and pledged endowments, make him one of Tech's most instrumental donors and supporters. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Otis Phillips.
Oh, those are some tough acts to follow, especially Bob Lou. Let me introduce some people that came with me tonight, please. My family that's with me tonight, my incredible wife she's been with me about 40 years now, and I hadn't run her off yet, so she's been my biggest cheerleader and my best friend, and I wouldn't be here without her support and her love for all those years. My wonderful sister, Pat Dowdy, my daughter, Emily Raines, my daughter, Christy Phillips, my daughter, Beth Herron, and my grandson, 13-year-old Caden Herron. So thank you all for being with me tonight. I want to express my appreciation to the university, the Alumni Association, and the selection committee for this award. Also, thanks to Kevin and Brandon and their staff for putting together this wonderful banquet. Congratulations to my fellow recipients and other honorees. What a privilege it is to be among such a distinguished group. Thank you to the many friends and acquaintances that have come out tonight to honor these award winners. I believe that the ultimate success and value of any enterprise is measured by the quality of the product that it produces. By this measure, Tennessee Tech University is succeeding in a huge way. Tech graduates have gone on to become astronauts, Fortune 500 executives and CEOs, professional athletes, judges, lawyers, doctors, engineers, teachers, entrepreneurs, accountants, and everything in between. I know so many graduates who have achieved success at the highest level in their profession, and that is no accident. What modest success I've achieved financially and professionally is a direct result of the preparation and the tools provided me by this university, be it the drive, determination, and exposure to adversity I experienced on the football field, the problem-solving and technical expertise I learned in my engineering courses, or the financial skills and analysis that I learned from the hours and hours of study, Dr. Bell, in the MBA program, case studies. This university gave me the confidence and the knowledge to become a successful engineer and entrepreneur. Through the years, my primary relationship with Tech has been through the athletic department. My senior year, I was fortunate to be a member of the 1972 OVC championship football team that won 10 games and played in the Grantland Rice Bowl. It was an amazing experience. Some of those teammates have been lifelong friends, and Tech is the glue that has kept us together and close. I am so proud to be part of the TTU family. I've been blessed to be part of this community, my own hometown, and to travel and to have this opportunity to be involved in Tech and give back in a very, very small way. Thank you again for this award, and good evening. Thank you.
The second of this year's Outstanding Philanthropy Award winners is John Rose. John is a 1988 agriculture graduate of Tennessee Tech. John says his lifetime goal has been to own and operate the family farm. And today, he is living that dream. His greatest goal in giving to Tennessee Tech is supporting the School of Agriculture and providing opportunities for its students. He's done that by establishing scholarships in honor of his parents, by creating an endowment supporting faculty development and agricultural products and initiatives, and by establishing scholarships benefiting international students in the School of Agriculture. As a longtime member of the Tennessee Tech Foundation Board of Directors, John's support of Tennessee Tech is campus-wide. He says that for the many experiences afforded him during his undergraduate years, he will always be proud to call himself a Tennessee Tech alum and is thankful to be in a position to support his alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating John Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Luna, and President Volpe, thank you. I want to begin tonight by recognizing the very special guests that I have with me seated just down to my right, and I'm very proud to have with me my oldest sister, Cindy, and her husband, Steve, and my older sister, Radonna. I'm the baby of the family. I regret that my brother was not able to be with us tonight, and then also have with me my beautiful wife, Chelsea, and the mother of our splendid young son, Guy, and then a very special couple in my life and in my journey through Tennessee Tech, and that's Dr. Ben Byler and Dr. Linda Byler. And so it is my honor to have them here as my guests tonight. I will point out that among the Roses, if you count my wife, we have 7 degrees from Tennessee Tech. And all of Jerry and Betty Rose's children attended Tennessee Tech and graduated, and so that tells you a little bit about. Now, my mother was a UT graduate, and I'm not sure that she was entirely pleased by those choices, but she was very proud of us and a very great supporter of Tennessee Tech. Thank you to Tennessee Tech, and thank you to the Alumni Association and the Selection Committee. And it is my honor to be recognized alongside, and I'm humbled to be recognized alongside the other honorees that you've been introduced to tonight and that you will meet. It was 1983 when I arrived at Tennessee Tech, and I can honestly say that I never seriously considered attending another university. My mom had made it clear to us from a very young age that we would be going to college. That was never a question. She didn't tell us where we had to go, but by the time I came along and had seen the example of Cindy and Lanny and Radonna, I never really seriously considered going anywhere else. And I can also say that I never have ever regretted that decision. In fact, to this day, I think it was a splendid decision, and I'm so very proud to say that I am an alumni of Tennessee Tech, alumnus of Tennessee Tech. In those days that I was at Tech, I found that this university excellently prepared me for the challenges that came afterwards. Some of you will remember Dr. Dave Nary, who was my major professor at Tennessee Tech and had a great influence on me during my studies here. And I well remember one day that Dr. Nary was harassing me about my involvement with one of my other great passions in life, and that is the Future Farmers of America. And he had some cute quote that he gave to me about when you're a child, you do childish things, and when you're an adult, you put away those things. And I was a little offended by that, and I looked really sternly at Professor Nary, Dr. Nary, and I said, Dr. Nary, your problem is that you keep wanting to let school get in the way of my education. And but he did make sure that I got a tremendous education, and he and Roy Lassiter excellently prepared me. And some of you will remember Cowboy Roy, Dr. Roy Lassiter, who taught many of the agricultural economics classes at Tennessee Tech. You know, as I left Tech and went on to pursue my education at other institutions, I could not help but feel a little bit of trepidation as I entered Purdue University and later Vanderbilt Law School, in wondering, was I ready? And I can tell you I was prepared, and I credit that to Tennessee Tech. at each step along the way. And so I think those of you who are wondering about Tennessee Tech, and we see lots of evidence to know that this is a great institution. And it is that awareness that I came to have that Tennessee Tech had so well prepared me for what came later in life that then made it easy as I achieved some success in life to be able to feel good about giving back. My parents and Chelsea's parents taught us that it is all of our responsibilities in life to take the blessings that God gives us and use those to make things better. And so I've tried to follow that admonition. The FFA has a little bit different way of saying it. The motto of the FFA is learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, and living to serve. And so I've tried to apply that as I've made my journey through life. I thank you, Tennessee Tech community, for what you do to help make sure that this great institution remains a force in the lives of its current students and is positioned well to continue to offer that same treasure to the people of Tennessee and the Upper Cumberland. And I challenge each of you to search each day for ways that you can make sure that that legacy continues. Thank you again for recognizing me tonight, and thank you to Tennessee Tech and the community of people who helped to put this institution in place, many of whom are gone and not with us now, many of you who are in this room and helped to advance that legacy and help to make sure that it's there for the future. And I hope in some small way my contributions will help to continue that legacy for generations to come. Thank you.
It's always tough to follow Bob. And I don't think you could embarrass me, Bob. I'm not sure. I'll let you try.
I'm not going to try.
Okay. All right. It's really my pleasure now to, it's actually been my pleasure this evening, as is often the case here. I've been really honored to be able to serve Tennessee Tech as the 9th president, and honored tonight to be joined by the 7th and 8th presidents, both of Tennessee Tech. And there's such a great legacy of leadership here at Tech, and I think that's been discussed and certainly exhibited tonight on a number of occasions. But it's now my honor to introduce the 7th president of Tennessee Tech, Dr. Angelo Volpe. And he said I could introduce him however I wanted to, but that's a little dangerous. But no, it's an honor to have Angelo still here in town and to be able to do this. Particularly tonight, to be able to set up these next honorees. It's highly appropriate for Angelo to give a little bit of context, a little bit of history behind these honorees and the role that they have played and continue to play in the legacy here at Tennessee Tech. So without further ado, I'll welcome one of my predecessors, Dr. Angelo Volpe, to the stage.
Thank you, President Oldham. I want to add my congratulations to all of the recipients of awards this evening. Well done and well deserved. And I'm also honored to have been asked to say a few words about two of tonight's honorees, my friends, Leo McGee and Mark Burnett. These two gentlemen, over the past 30 years, have built a legacy of mentorship and counseling of minority students as well as majority students at Tennessee Tech that is nothing short of remarkable. Let's, as they say, begin at the beginning. In 1987, I came to Tennessee Tech from East Carolina University in North Carolina. East Carolina's minority enrollment was about 15%. At that time, Tennessee Tech's minority enrollment was about 1 to 1.5%. When those numbers sank into me when I came here, the first thing I did was go to Mark and go to Leo and say, what's up with these low numbers? And Mark and Leo gave me a geography lesson.
and pointed out there were very few minority students in the Upper Cumberland, and that we needed to go where the minority students were in order to recruit them. Places like Nashville, Knoxville, Memphis, Chattanooga, and even out of state. We did do this, and minority student enrollment increased several-fold. And Tennessee Tech, to this day, has constantly worked at this over the years. It's an uphill struggle, but Tennessee Tech is keeping at it, thanks to the work started by Leo and Mark. Also, shortly after I came to Tech, 3 minority students, and James Harris, who's one of our distinguished alums, was one of the 3. They came to me and inquired whether we could establish a Black Cultural Center here at Tennessee Tech. Of course, the first thing I did was go to Leo and Mark and say, let's talk about this. And the more we talked about it, the more we said, yes, let's do it. So Mark and Leo were instrumental in establishing the Leona Lusk Officer Black Cultural Center. Miss Lusk was the first African-American woman to receive a Tennessee Tech degree. Now, not everyone was thrilled to have a Black Cultural Center at Tennessee Tech. In fact, I had a student come to my office and say, when are we going to get a White Cultural Center? So I said to the student, when you leave my office, take a walk around the campus. Go into the Bryan Fine Arts Building. Go into the Student Center. Go into your classrooms. Those are all white cultural centers. He and I said, we have no idea what it's like to go into a classroom and be the only person in that classroom that looks like you. I said, son, we absolutely need a Black Cultural Center on this campus. I think he was satisfied with my answer. Ironically, though, from the very beginning, the Black Cultural Center evolved into a true multicultural center where students from all cultures and backgrounds could meet. This, again, was due to the template that Leo and Mark established. And today, that tradition is being successfully carried out by Dr. Robert Owens, the center director, and his staff, consisting of Dr. Elizabeth Ojo and Ms. Corrine Johnson. Since the center's inception, Leo and Mark have mentored and counseled and served as role models for generations of minority students. And they have been joined in this effort by other minority faculty. Carl Owens from the College of Education, Gloria McGee from the College of Education, Fred Kennedy from Music, James Stewart from the Department of English, and many other minority and majority faculty over the years. I would like to close by telling you something about Mark and Leo that perhaps you may not know, and gives you an idea of what kind of quality individuals these 2 people are. Dr. Oldham talked about the NCAA award that Captain Wilmore received. Well, Mark holds an NCAA record that will never be broken. When he was an undergraduate student, he was captain of the Tennessee Tech basketball team for 5 consecutive years. Now you might say, how could this be? You only have 4 years of eligibility. Well, Mark figured out how to do it. He was elected the team leader in his freshman year. Now that tells you something in and of itself. But Mark had to be a medical redshirt that year. So when he came back, he was elected team captain for the next 4 years. I think that's a remarkable record. Leo is the hydrangea king of, I was going to say, the Upper Cumberland. But I think it would be more accurate to say Leo is the hydrangea king of the state of Tennessee. He has nurtured his hydrangeas so that he has one of the most beautiful gardens in our state. And in a like manner, Leo has nurtured all the students with whom he has come in contact. And in addition, Leo has been a mentor to the mentors. And by that I mean, I don't think there has been a minority faculty member over the years who has not sought out Leo for his advice, his good counsel, and his wisdom. I cannot think of any two individuals who are more deserving to be recognized this evening than Leo McGee and Mark Burnett. I would like Leo and Mark to come to the podium, and would you all join me in honoring these two men?
Oh, afterward. During my 30-year stint as an employee of Tennessee Tech, there were two what I would call aha moments. Aha moment one, shortly after we arrived in Cookeville in January 1977, my wife said rather emphatically to me, "I'm going to Vanderbilt to get my doctorate degree." I swallowed real hard and said, "Who's going to take care of those two little girls?" She quickly responded, "You are." She gave me this stare down that made me shake in my boots. She then turned and walked away. I said to myself, this chick is serious as a heart attack. Boy, you better get your butt in gear or you're going to be left right here in Cookeville with a new job and no family. To all you young fathers in the audience, I indeed became a house husband and held down a new job at the same time. Learn to read the tea leaves. Dr. Gloria McGee and I both had wonderful careers at Tennessee Tech, and we have remained partners for 54 years. Aha moment two. Professor Sil Gilbert, an engineering professor at Tech, extended an invitation to me to go to his huge garden and pick sweet corn. I was having a real bad day at the office, so I decided in the middle of the afternoon to go pick sweet corn. The next day, Sid called and said, "Leo, I understand that you've been to my garden." "Yes, I went yesterday," I responded. "How did you know?" "My neighbor, Mrs. Bryan, called and told me. She's getting up in age." She said, "Sid, that was a colored man stealing corn from your corn patch." In broad daylight. He was dressed in a suit and tie. And he got 2 big bags of your corn. Sid, why are you laughing so hard? Because that black man is a vice president of Tennessee Tech, and he's a good friend of mine. "He is," Mrs. Bryant asked. "I thought it was kind of strange for him to be stealing somebody's corn in the middle of the day." "Thanks for straightening me out, Sid. I came real close to calling the police on him." Young men, do not pick corn in a suit in broad daylight. Now I would like to thank the Academy for honoring me and my beloved son and dearest friend, Mark Burnett. I shall cherish this prestigious award for the rest of my days.
Good evening, everyone. First, giving honor to God, it's good to be here. Not sure I belong here. I'm still following this guy, and he's hard to follow. In fact, as he was finishing up and they stood over there, I asked Bob, I said, you got anything special I can say to follow that? You know, the late Dean Smith, and it's hard for me to say that, being a Duke fan, but the late Dean Smith from UNC said one should not be honored for attempting to do what's right. To all the honorees this evening, I say congratulations. I thank sincerely the presidents that I've worked under. I thank my many mentors, especially the guy that's standing behind me right now. I thank my wife, who has watched me vacillate between delight and despair many times over this university that I dearly love. And I thank the many students I've been blessed, including John Rose, the many students and his wife, the many students that I've been blessed to interact with. That also includes Dr. Robert Owens, who's now running multicultural affairs at Tennessee Tech. You know, all I've ever wanted to do is help young people, and Tennessee Tech gave me the platform to do that, as many of you in this room helped me along the way, and I knew that I owed it back. Christine A. Stanley, an educator, said, working to change a university's diversity culture is not something that is achieved by a single individual or by proclaiming certain goals on a mission statement. It is a collective moral responsibility for which we are all ultimately accountable. And if I may for a moment just go outside of the context of tonight's award, again, of which I'm blessed to receive, I've spent my career actually working with more students who don't look like me than do. And the true reward for me is that I view all equally important enough to sacrifice the time and the energy to help them become successful. Again, I thank you all who chose me for this award. It is indeed a great honor. I do love my university. I often choose to say it's not the color of my skin here, but it's the color of my school. I love Tennessee Tech University. Wings up.
This is what makes Tennessee Tech special, is leadership from gentlemen like these two special individuals right here. Congratulations, gentlemen.
It's really hard for me at this point to follow those comments, but I want to say I echo Dr. Volpe's sentiments. Now I'm humbled and honored to have any role recognizing these two campus leaders. For decades, Tennessee Tech has implemented strategies to diversify the campus community as inclusion and access are core values to the institution. African Americans have matriculated to the institution since Mrs. Leona Lusk Officer was granted admission in 1964 as the university's first African American student. Following Mrs. Officer's footsteps, more than 1,500 African American students have received degrees from Tennessee Tech. These proud alumni have gone on to represent their alma mater in meaningful ways. Like Mrs. Officer, we have many African American alumni who were trailblazers while students at Tech. Some of these trailblazers are with us tonight and not prepared for me to call on them. We have Mr. Morris Irby was the first African-American baseball player at Tennessee Tech. Mr. Edwin Osborne was part of establishing the first historically black Greek organization on campus, the Omega Psi Phi. Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And also Mr. Nathan Burton was the first African-American president for the Student Government Association at Tennessee Tech. Thank you for your contributions to campus. It is with Mrs. Officer that a legacy was begun, but it is with individuals like Mr. Irby, Mr. Burton, and Mr. Osborne that this legacy continues. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. And now the Distinguished Alumnus of the Year. The Distinguished Alumnus Award honors individuals who have demonstrated their ideal of excellence by achieving success and recognition, creating great pride among the faculty, students, and alumni of Tennessee Tech. The award is for developed talent that reflects favorably on the quality of this university and the faculty and the administration who are charged with creating and sustaining this quality. This award carries the prestige of the highest award the Tennessee Tech Alumni Association has the power to bestow. The 2018 Distinguished Alumnus Award recipient is Dr. Walter Derryberry. Let me share a few items. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, not about. Walter is a man of talent, intellect, imagination, and generosity. Walter Derryberry has played a major role in the well-being of this entire community and this campus of our university. His 4 decades of work in obstetrics made him the darling of thousands of families, many of whom are in this room tonight and were quite possibly delivered by Walter. He was among, how many did you deliver, Walter? I've heard the number. 7,500 babies delivered by Dr. Derryberry. He was among the very first medical specialists here in Cookeville, part of a quiet but major shift in the way we view healthcare today. Walter has always taken the time to indulge other community-minded interests, from serving on the Putnam County School Board to supporting our public television station, WCTE. It's from his work in the arts, though, that many of us have interacted with him most frequently over the years, from collecting art, from acting in community theater productions, to serving as the musical director at St. Michael's Episcopal Church, supporting the Bryan Symphony Orchestra at Tennessee Tech. There are likely not many people here tonight who don't know that Walter Derryberry is the son of former President Everett Derryberry and First Lady Joan Derryberry, the icons of our university. Many years ago, Walter earned the right to be considered distinguished on his own merit, and Tennessee Tech is richer for having graduated men of Walter Derryberry's caliber. Please join me in congratulating the 2018 Distinguished Alumnus Award winner, Dr. Walter Derryberry.
I'm overwhelmed. And who could not be with somebody like Bob Luna saying your name? I mean, that's a lifetime experience. You know, I've heard it said that in order to succeed, one should follow success. And I sort of think I did that because my father, as has been said, was president here for 34 years. My mother, who in real life was a concert pianist, was also the author with Daddy of the Tech Hymn. I can remember as a little boy being put to bed and then hearing them argue and fight and fuss over the Tech hymn. They would always have differing opinions on what the next measure of music should bring. So that is a part of me that goes way back. Other people that I have emulated, one is my son, Pitt Derryberry. So, Pitt, please, you and your family stand up. You know, Pitt is a PhD in psychology. He is the chairman of the Department of Psychology at Western Kentucky University, excuse me. And he's an amazing person. I'm not here to praise Pitt necessarily, but I can tell you he's a world-class water skier. He's a world-class soccer coach and baseball coach, as his children will attest. So another person that I have sort of followed, actually, is my son Douglas. And Doug is really fulfilling a dream that I've had for years. And the reason he's not here tonight is because he's appearing on stage on Broadway in New York. So that's what he's found to do in his life. But for a musician, that ain't bad. A lot of what I have become, I attribute to Tennessee Tech. I was educated in the art of being an executive by being president of the chemistry club, and also by being president of Pi Kappa Delta, which is the speech fraternity at that time. Then that morphed into public service, and when I became a Cookvillian again as a productive one, I became chairman of the board of Cookville Summer Theater Incorporated, and also the Putnam County School Board of Education, and also as president of the Tennessee section of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Whew, those were mighty tasks, but they were, thanks to Tennessee Tech, I was able to do them. Also at Tennessee Tech, I learned the value of hard work. I mean, who doesn't work hard when they take organic chemistry? Good. That was the hardest class I took here, and just was lucky, I guess, to get through it. Then the thing about it is, when you passed organic chemistry at Tech, that was almost a pass to get into University of Tennessee Medical School, where I next went. And then when after years of educational deferment from the draft, you know, we had that in those days, we as physicians or pharmacists or nurses had the opportunity to enlist instead in the United States Public Health Service instead of the, say, Army, for instance. So I did, and I was assigned, first of all, in Boston as cancer control officer for New England. And in that, I went around all New England conducting cancer detection clinics. And that was 1.5 years. And you know, in all that time, I only found one case of cancer. Now, it's amazing how much we see today, but anyway. Then, after the public health service, I went to Vanderbilt, where I did my 3-year residency in obstetrics and gynecology. Another beast of burden, but it was good. Also at Tennessee Tech, I polished my keyboard skills. And I was, in fact, the first sophomore student here ever to give a solo piano recital. And that morphed then into real life when I became the organist and choirmaster at St. Michael's Episcopal Church, which I held for 37 years, which ain't bad. And it was a lot of fun, too. But, you know, one of the best things that happened to me at Tech was performing in some little community skits, shall we say. And that proved to be my love for theater. And so when I came back here, I was fortunate enough to audition and receive roles in lots of wonderful musicals, such as I was, for instance, Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady. I was the King of Siam in 2 separate productions of The King and I. Also, I was the King Arthur in Camelot. Then, descending from the royal ranks to the mundane, I became the slave Pseudolus in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. One of the funniest shows I ever did. And then also, I was able to get the role of father of the boy. I don't know if you know the musical, The Fantastics, but it features a boy and a girl and their fathers. And in my role, I learned to sing this. It's called Plant a Radish. And it says, plant a radish, get a radish. Never any doubt. That's why I love vegetables. You know what you're about. But with children, it's bewildering. Let's see, how's that line? You never know just what you've got. And isn't that true? And don't we love our children devotedly? I was so pleased to hear the Tech Chorale sing the song about Learn to Love tonight. What a glorious thing that was. It just, anyway, yeah. There are ways and ways to love your fellow. You know, people say, who is my neighbor? Whom do I love? And is it my next door neighbor? Is it people who live on my street or who go to my church? All of which I say to all of the above and then some. We are blessed with this infinite capacity to love, and there is more of it to go around than we can ever dream. The love is an elastic barrier which expands to include anyone that you choose to put in it. And I must confess that one of the things I love most is Tennessee Tech. And I'm a proud son of her and happy to be able to say, along with all the rest of us alums, O alma mater, Tennessee Tech, God prosper thee. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bob.
Carry this forward.
Phil's gonna get it.
Yeah, we need some help. Well, I was going to ask President Oldham if he had any more remarks, but apparently not. And I'm on the last page of the agenda that I have tried to keep to. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in one more round of applause for the 2018 Alumni Award recipients.